Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. This is a video on daily topic-wise news analysis where I'll be covering the news from the Hindu and Indian Express. So I'll be covering the most important news of the day, and additionally I'll be supplementing the news with some relevant information that can help you in prelims and mains examination. So let's get started with the topic first. Today is 27th of March. The first is dormant parliament fading business. So this is an editorial reported in Hindu. It's a very brilliant editorial reported. The second is assistance from the Japan to Andaman and Nicobar. Third, report on the rejection of RTI applications. Second last, ramping up trade ties with India and United States. And the last is Supreme Court allow the sale of electoral bonds, right? So these are some of the important editorial article and news that has been reported in today's newspaper. Apart from this, at the end of this session, we'll discuss some important MCQs question that is going to help you in the upcoming prelims examination. And before I begin, this is an all India test. This would be the full length test that you can avail. This is 10th full mock length test and supplemented by 3 CSAT tests, right? So this is only at 1 for double 9. So this aims to give you a 360-degree prelims experiences, and the entire test has been comprehensively designed in accordance with the UPSC pattern. So what you have to do, you have to just check the description section of this video and you can register yourself for this particular course, which is very essential to make your way through the prelims examination. Now the first news, that is dormant parliament fading business. This is basically an editorial reported in the Hindu. This is important for the parliament and state legislature structure, function and conduct of business. And these type of analysis is very important for your mains paper, right? This is written by M.R. Madhavan. He is basically the president of PRS Legislative Research, a brilliant editorial reported by him. Make sure you know, you understand it very well so that you can use further in the mains examination. So he said, like, there is a gradual deterioration in the parliament functioning. Recently we have also seen that the parliament has जो function थी पूरे parliament की, जो sessions थी उसको बहुत पहले ही close कर दिया गया. So he said that the parliament function has been stopped to its fullest constitutional mandate. और जो budget sessions थी इस बार की, that has ended recently, and this has ended recently 2 weeks before, right? Because of the election that is scheduled in the 5 states, right? So this was a reason cited by the member of parliament. They had an appeal to the parliament कि जितने भी sessions चल रहे हैं उनको जल्दी से फिलहाल के लिए सीनेटाई कर दिया जाए. Now this would result the fiscal year saw the Lok Sabha that have only 34 days and Rajya Sabha 33 days. This is the lowest ever performance that was there from the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Now because of the COVID-19, ये भी एक बहुत बड़ी कंसर्न है जहाँ पे सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग एंड जो COVID-19 के प्रोटोकॉल्स हैं उनको फॉलो करने की जरूरत थी. बट यहाँ पे कहा गया है, मिस्टर माधवन इज सेइंग, व्हाई कांट पार्लियामेंट कुड नॉट अडॉप्ट अ रिमोट वर्किंग टेक्नोलॉजी सोल्यूशन जो कि और दूसरे कंट्रीज ने अडॉप्ट किया है, राइट? वी अंडरस्टैंड बिकॉज ऑफ द COVID-19 ऑल्सो देयर वाज डिले, द नंबर ऑफ द डेज वर reduced. Then why not we should opt for the technology? Everything have a technology upgradation, and despite the fact that many other countries have adopted an online technology platform to run the parliament, so why can't India do that, right? So these are the questions that were raised by Mr. Madhavan. Now absence of bill scrutiny, so this is the most crucial part. And if you talk about the spirit of the democracy, the constitutional validity of the parliament, it calls for the bill scrutiny, right? So बहुत सी important और सबसे अहम बात यह है कि अगर कोई भी बिल अगर पास हो रही है सेशन में बिल में, तो उसकी स्क्रूटनी की जानी बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. And how the scrutiny can be done? The bill has to be referred to the parliamentary committee for examinations, right? So 13 bill pass किए गए and not even one of them was referred to the parliamentary committee. So the check and balances, I call it C and B, the check and balances that were missing, right? And because of which the stakeholder were also not being consulted. Now many high bill were introduced during this few days. और अगर बात करें जिस तरह में पार्लियामेंट अडजर्न हुई उससे पहले बहुत सारे इंपॉर्टेंट बिल पास हुए विच वाज सपोज्ड टू बी सेंट टू द पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी. द फर्स्ट इज the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Bill. So this is again the basically much talked bill, very important for your prelims examination as well. तो इस बिल को भी बहुत ही जल्दी में गवर्नमेंट ने पास किया है एंड द एंटायर बिल कॉल फॉर द शिफ्टिंग गवर्नेंस from the state legislature, from the legislature of the chief minister to the lieutenant governor. So we have already had a discussion about basically this bill. If you haven't watched this video, that particular video, you can refer to our playlist section, वहाँ पे आप देख सकें. और ये एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट बिल है जहाँ पे जो दिल्ली के चीफ मिनिस्टर होंगे उसकी डेफिनेशन चेंज की जा रही है और जो लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर होंगे दिल्ली में ही वुड बी कंसिडर एज द सोल पावर, राइट? Because the chief minister is being elected by the people of India, so he had an equal responsibility. But जो LG है, he is being appointed by the central government. तो यहाँ पे responsibility, diffusion of responsibility का concept बहुत ही ज़्यादा apply होता है. और अगर इस तरह से ही गवर्नमेंट को करना है, these are my personal opinion, then why don't government dissolve the legislative assembly? उनको dissolve कर देना चाहिए. We are already operating in Chandigarh, we are already operating in other union territories. So why, if CM which is being elected by the people do not have any say, then there is no sense of having chief minister, right? और बिल में कुछ बहुत सारे nuances. If you go detail of this bill, it calls that कि जो daily to daily activities है, in that particular matter also the chief minister would have no say, right? So अगर आप chief minister को कोई power ही नहीं दे रहे, then why you are keeping chief minister? आप dissolve कर दीजिए assembly को directly. There is no sense of having assembly, right? So what is your view? You can share your views in the comment section. What do you think that the bill that is being passed by the parliament is on the spirit of democracy or not? और इस बिल को इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया था 15 मार्च को लोकसभा में एंड 22 मार्च को राज्यसभा से इसको पास कर दिया गया, राइट? एंड इट वाज पास ऑन 24. It was introduced on 22nd and it was passed in 24. So you can see the fast pace of the bill that is being passed from the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, despite the fact it should be going to the parliamentary committee for scrutiny and examinations. Now कुछ और important bill थे, that is Mine and Mineral Development Amendment Bill. So this basically bill remove the end use restriction on mine and ease for competitive mining. तो जितने भी private companies हैं उनमें जो restrictions थी mining को लेकर के उसको भी remove कर दिया गया. इसके अपने अलग repercussions हैं. So that should also be consulted with the stakeholder, the expert, and the bill should also be referred to the parliamentary committees. Now the National Bank for Financing Infrastructure Development Bill to create a new government infrastructure financial institution that permit private one in the sector passed by within 3 days. So आप देख सकते हो the pace, the speed of the passing of the bill is very much. Now the Insurance Amendment Bill, this was also passed. This is a good bill which calls for like 49% से बढ़ा करके जो FDI है वो 74% तक कर दी गई है, so that the foreign players can come into the Indian insurance sector and they could have the competitive market so that the citizens could have a good price, a competitive price for the insurances, right? So these were the 4 important bills that was passed in this particular session, the budget session. Now the money bill classification, because what government is trying to do, government has a majority in Rajya Sabha, and if you table a money bill, the say of the Lok Sabha become null, right? वहाँ पे बहुत ही nominal role हो जाती है लोक सभा की. So the last few years we have seen the dubious practice, एक बहुत ही खराब practices है जो इंडिया में already चल रही है, where money bill is taken into the place for the Rajya Sabha and some sections of the Aadhaar card were down by the Supreme Court, जहाँ पे इस procedure को यूज किया गया था आधार बिल को पास करने के लिए, एंड सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज आल्सो टेकिंग द कॉग्निजेंस ऑफ इट, बट डिस्पाइट द फैक्ट द गवर्नमेंट हैज मेड इट पॉसिबल को उसको पास करे, बिकॉज यू सी व्हेन यू हैव numbers in Rajya Sabha, then the government take a route, escape route of money bill, right? So this can also be a possible question in the mains examination. Is this route a valid or under the spirit of the democracy of the constitution, right? Now the finances bill over the last years have contained unconnected items restructuring the tribunal, introductions of electoral bonds, amendment to the Foreign Contribution Act. So ये 3 चीज भी ऐसे हैं that has again raised the concern from the experts. Now the missing deputy speaker, talking about the functioning, the constitutional post and the efficacy of the Lok Sabha, it is very important कि जो deputy speaker है that should be appointed. So यहाँ पे बताई गई कि लोक सभा में एक deputy speaker का होना mandatory होता है. This has been already envisaged in the Constitution of India under Article 93. So this is important for the prelims examination as well. So वहाँ पे provisions हैं कि जो भी हाउस में जब स्पीकर चुने जाएंगे, so immediately 2 members of the houses would be chosen as a deputy speaker. But if you talk about this particular session which is going, there is no deputy speaker. और पिछले बार के जो नेक्स्ट सेशन है, पिछले 2 साल से ये चीज़ें काम कर रही है, बट स्टिल देयर इज नो ऑफिशियल डेप्यूटी स्पीकर दैट इज अपॉइंटेड टू द लोकसभा. सो डेफिनेटली यहाँ पे जो एफिकेसी है लोकसभा की, दैट इज अगेन इन क्वेश्चन एंड द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट इज अगेन इन क्वेश्चन. ना पार्लियामेंट्री स्क्रूटनी इज द की. तो कंक्लूजन के तौर पे, वे फॉरवर्ड के तौर पे यहाँ बातें बताई गई है कि बिना पार्लियामेंट स्क्रूटनी के जो एग्जैक्ट फंक्शनिंग है, जो स्टेक होनी चाहिए एक्सपर्ट्स की या फिर जो सिटीजन की, वो मिसिंग है. सो द पार्लियामेंट हैज अ सेंट्रल रोल इन आवर डेमोक्रेसी एज अ रिप्रेजेंटेटिव बॉडी दैट चेक्स द वर्क ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, राइट? And it is also the spirit to examine the legislative proposal in detail, understand the nuances and applications that decide the appropriate way forward. तो किसी भी बिल के बारे में डिस्कशन, उसके प्रॉब्लम्स, उसके नुआंसेस, उनके लूप होल्स, उनके वे फॉरवर्ड क्या है, ये सारी चीज़ें डिसाइड कौन करती है? पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी डिसाइड करती है. दे गिव देयर ओपिनियन टू द गवर्नमेंट और टू द नोडल मिनिस्ट्री. नाउ इन ऑर्डर टू फुलफिल द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मैंडेट, इट इज इम्पेरेटिव कि पार्लियामेंट इस तरह की चीज़ों के साथ फंक्शन करे, एंड दिस वुड बी द मोस्ट इफेक्टिव एंड प्रोडक्टिव वे द पार्लियामेंट कैन फंक्शन इन इंडिया. And in sum, the parliament need to ensure the sufficient scrutiny, proposal and action by the government through the parliamentary committee of the assigned ministry. Right. So these are some of the way forward which you need to write in the examination. If you're writing in mains paper, a comprehensive analysis which I have discussed, think you have understand it well. So make sure आप इसी तरह से अपने mains के paper में भी इसको include करें. Now coming to the other news, assistance from the Japan to Andaman and Nicobar. This is important for the general studies paper 2. So development for the Andaman and Nicobar is taking place with the help of Japan. So Japan has approved a grant aid of 265 crore rupees to Andaman and Nicobar, which is an union territory, right? और ये पहली बार ऐसा होगा कि जापान ने असिस्टेंस दिए हैं अंडमान एंड निकोबार के लिए, राइट? एंड द एंटायर एम ऑफ दिस grant which has been given to Andaman and Nicobar is to improve the power supply, right? Power supply किया जाए आइसलैंड में, क्योंकि ये जो आइसलैंड है स्ट्रैटेजिकली जियोपॉलिटिकल लोकेशन के लिए बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, जो कि इंडो पैसिफिक रीजन में मदद करती है, राइट? सो डू इंश्योर दैट आप इसकी मैप वर्क भी कर रहे हैं साथ के साथ. मैप वर्क से आपसे प्रीलिम्स में सवाल पूछे जा सकते हैं. Now the grant would be used to procure 15 megawatt batteries, power system stabilizers to allow better utilization of solar power generation in the South Andaman also. तो वहाँ पे बैटरी इंक्लूड की जाएगी ताकि प्रॉपर कनेक्टिविटी, पावर सिस्टम स्टेबलाइजेशन भी लाया जा सके साउथ अंडमान में. नाउ असिस्टेंस फॉर द प्रोजेक्ट, बहुत सारे और असिस्टेंस दिए गए हैं दैट इंक्लूड दिल्ली मेट्रो, यहाँ पे 16,186 crore rupees, and for the Bangalore metro also the Japan is providing the financial assistance and loan, right? This would be done by the Japan International Cooperation Agencies with the Government of India. So they have also signed some agreement to develop Delhi and Bangalore, basically the metro line. And cooperations between the India and Japan is crucial for the island democracy. अगर बात करें डेमोन्स्ट्रेट कमिटमेंट की, तो जो स्टेबलाइजेशन प्रोस्पेरिटी इंडो पैसिफिक रीजन में होनी चाहिए, सो दैट कॉल्स फॉर अ ग्रेटर स्टेबिलिटी इन द अंडमान रीजन. And a loan of 807 crore rupees was extended for the crop diversification in Himachal Pradesh, और 2,272 crore for the rural water supply mitigation in जो फ्लोरोसिस की प्रॉब्लम है राजस्थान के झुंझुनू और बाड़मेर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में. Any one of you belong to this particular region might be aware the problem of fluorosis that is taking place. So this is the point where the Japan would be extending it assistance to the Rajasthan government by the corpus of 3,272 crore rupees. Now talking about the report on rejections of RTI applications. So the news has been reported in Hindu, and it says that many of the RTI application that was filed before the Prime Minister office or the Ministry of Home Affairs was rejected. तो right to applications को लेकर के भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा concerns raise की गई है. So this is important for your general studies paper 2, important aspects of government transparency, stability and e-governance applications. So एक recent annual report लाई गई है by the Central Information Commission, also known as CIC. So they have said that Center has rejected only 4.3% of Right to Information Act in 1920, right? And this is the lowest ever according to the Central Information Commissioner annual report, right? So this is what official figure has to say. Now we have to see into the different angle, the flip side of the coin, which the expert and NGO activist has to say. तो उनका क्या कहना है, जो आरटीआई एक्टिविस्ट हैं, जो एनजीओ हैं, वो किस तरह से देख रहे हैं इस तरह के रिपोर्ट को. सो उनके मुताबिक जितने भी आरटीआई थे उसमें जो 40% रिजेक्शंस हैं, राइट, दैट डू नॉट इंक्लूड द वैलिड रीजन. अगर आप बात करेंगे लाइक इफ दिस इज 4.3, द टोटल रिजेक्शन इज 4.3, इन दिस 4.3 जो 40% रिजेक्शन की गई है उसमें कोई वैलिड रीजन नहीं बताई गई है व्हाई दैट आरटीआई वाज बीइंग रिजेक्टेड. And this include 90% of the rejections by the Prime Minister office, right? So 90% जो rejections थी, that was basically from the Prime Minister office itself. And the public authorities under the central government received 3.7 lakh requests, right? And out of which 58,634 were rejected by various regions. So बहुत सारे ऐसे important RTI थे जिनको consider ही नहीं किया गया. And the rejection rate has been fallen since 13.3% in 2005, and that has been steadily down to 8.4% 2014-15, right? And the year of 2019-20 has projected the rejection so far. If you see, like जितने भी rejection हैं इस बार में lowest हैं, but we have to see how this is going to work, because attending of the RTI is the core essence and spirit of the democracy and right to speech and expressions. Now coming to the ministry wise rejection rate, so analysis has given that kitne ministry ne kitne tarah se rejection ki hai. So according to the CIC annual report, more than 2,000 public authorities across the central government as well as union territories has been considered. और ये जो एनालिसिस है एक बहुत ही मैक्रो डेटा है अबाउट द सेंट्रल मिनिस्ट्रीज एंड द आरटीआई दैट हैज रिसीव्ड. सो होम मिनिस्ट्री हैज द हाईएस्ट रेट ऑफ रिजेक्शन among all the ministry that constitute 20%, right? And agriculture ministry has doubled its rejection rate. Earlier it used to be 2%, now this is 4%. And Delhi Police and Army, Delhi Police is basically working under Ministry of Home Affairs, MHA, right? So they have seen the increase in the rejections rate. And Ministry of Finances along has rejected 10,000 cases. So this is about, जितने 40% थे उसमें 10,000 cases है वो अकेले Ministry of Finance ने reject किए, right? Now this is a graph which will help you understand कि किस ministry ने कितने ज़्यादा rejections किए हैं RTI के. This is there in the Hindu. So Home Ministry 20%, Finance Ministry 12%, Delhi 12%, Delhi High Court, Power Ministry 11%, and the least being the Ministry of Women and Child Development. So this is about 8%. Now coming to the ramping up ties between India and US. So India is looking forward to enhance the relationship with the United States. So this is important for the effect and policies of developed and developing countries. So according to the Commerce and Industry Ministry, India ने engage करने की कोशिश की है न्यू USTR के साथ, जो US Trade Representative हैं, to put together the fresh package, और जो old package finalize की गई थी during the Donald Trump administration, they want to revamp it and regenerate the process, right? So India hope कि जितने भी trade packages हैं with US के साथ, जो नई presidentship है Joe Biden की, that would be coming into the action, and they would give a clear roadmap for the functioning of the India and United States with the strengthening bilateral relationship, right? And the ministry would also engage in the new US trade representative, और जो पूरी कोशिश है Ministry of Commerce की is to try and put together a fresh package, और जो older package है उसको खत्म कर दिया जाए, right? Now talking about India is looking at expanding the trade ties with the US. बहुत सारे अलग अलग चीज़ों पे इंडिया की अपनी रोड मैप है जहाँ पे वो काम करनी चाहती है USTR के साथ, राइट. सो दे आर वर्किंग फॉर रिमूवल ऑफ नॉन ट्रेड बैरियर्स. जितने भी नॉन ट्रेड बैरियर्स हैं उनको हटाना, better mutual recognition of the agreement, and expanding both trades in goods and services. So remember these 3 points. First is removal of non-trade barriers and the between India and US, better mutual recognition agreement, and expanding trade in the goods and services. सो व्हाट इज यूएसटीआर की स्टैंड क्या है, यूएसटीआर का क्या कहना है, यूएस ने किस तरह से अपने स्टैंड को क्लियर किया है. सो द ऑफिस ऑफ यूएसटीआर हैव ऑफिशियली सेड दैट बोथ इंडिया and United States and USTR are committed to strengthen their cooperation with the shared objective and to revitalize the engagement through US and India Trade Forum, right? So this is what is going to be in the coming future, that India and US would be definitely working to improve their commitment and removal of the trade barriers. Now, Supreme Court allow the sale of electoral bonds. Recently, a question was there in the Supreme Court and petition was filed. We also had a discussion on our yesterday session जहाँ पे मैंने आपको बताया था कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट के भी काफ़ी सवाल उठाए गए हैं जिस तरह से सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने फंक्शंस किए हैं. बट अगेन फाइनल अप्रूवल, अ ग्रीन नोट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम द सुप्रीम कोर्ट, right? So this is important for the structure, function, organization of the judiciary. So in a latest decision, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने रिफ्यूज किया है फॉर द सेल ऑफ इलेक्ट्रल बॉन्ड, और ये सारी चीजें सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने स्टे लगाने से मना कर दिया. दे हैव रिफ्यूज टू स्टे द सेल ऑफ इलेक्ट्रल बॉन्ड. सो दे हैव सेड दैट द पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज कैन फंड देमसेल्फ थ्रू इलेक्ट्रल बॉन्ड्स. और ये जो डिसीजन ली गई थी, दिस बेंच वाज हेडेड बाय चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया हिमसेल्फ. But the decision come prior to the assembly election in the state, जहाँ पे वेस्ट बंगाल और तमिलनाडु में ऑलरेडी इलेक्शन ongoing है. So the bench said that the court found no reasons to stay the sale of the electoral bonds now. और कोर्ट ने ये जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जो जजमेंट है, जो बेंच, उन्होंने कहा कि the judgment came after the urgent application moved by the NGO, that is एक NGO है ADR known as Association for Democratic Republic. उसके जो एडवोकेट है प्रशांत भूषण, उन्होंने रिप्रेजेंट किया था. एंड दे सेड कि जो सेल है इलेक्ट्रल बॉन्ड की उसको रोक देनी चाहिए फ्रॉम 1 अप्रैल टू 10 अप्रैल. नाउ सीरियस एप्रीहेंशन बाय द एनजीओ का कहना था, दे हैव वॉइस्ड सीरियस एप्रीहेंशन ऑन द सेल ऑफ बॉन्ड्स बिफोर द इलेक्शन वुड फर्दर illegal and illicit funding would be there to the political parties by the seal companies. तो seal companies के बारे में भी आप पढ़ लें, प्रीलिम्स में काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो जितने भी इलीगल और इलिसिट फंडिंग्स हैं वो लेजिमेट हो जाएंगे, और इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइजेशन ऑफ करप्शन है, करप्शन जो है इस थ्रू ब्लैक मनी को कहीं ना कहीं इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज किया जा रहा है बाय द इलेक्ट्रल बॉन्ड. सो दिस इज व्हाट द एक्सपर्ट एंड अदर एनजीओ हैज टू से. नाउ आइडेंटिटी ऑफ द परचेजर्स, बट सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा है कि जितने भी परचेजर हैं उनकी जो आइडेंटिटी है वो तो मेंटेन होगी. बैंक ऑफ इंडिया के पास जो स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया SBI है उनके पास मेंटेन होगी, तो फिर क्या प्रॉब्लम है, राइट? एंड स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया वुड इवेंचुअली नो द आइडेंटिटी ऑफ द बायर. सो कोर्ट नोटेड कि जो क्लॉज 7 है इस स्कीम की, वेयर बायर कैन अप्लाई टू प्रिस्क्राइब फॉर्म ईदर फिजिकली और ऑनलाइन क्लोजिंग देयर पर्टिकुलर डिटेल्स, राइट? और कोर्ट ने ये रिजेक्ट किया कि जो फियर्स है इलेक्ट्रल बॉन्ड के, दैट विल हैव द फॉरेन corporates coming to influence the domestic electrical funding, जो electoral funding उसको लेकर के. Definitely to some part I also personally feel that this would impact it, but if the Supreme Court is not considering like the people of India or the NGO cannot have other stake, they could further apply, they would further appeal to the decision that is coming from the Supreme Court. And it said that the bond could be purchased only by a person and citizen incorporated established in India. So this is what all the Supreme Court of India has quoted in favor of the electoral bond sale during these elections. Now coming to the MCQ's question of the day. The first question is, consider the following statement with regards to new umbrella entities for retail payments. Only those entities are owned and controlled by the Indian citizen with at least 3-year experiences for the payment segment can become the promoter of NUE. And no foreign investor is allowed in NUE in the existing guideline. So what you have to do, you have to consider the statement and you have to write the correct option इन द कमेंट सेक्शन। तो वीडियो के कमेंट सेक्शन में जाएं और वहां पे अपने आंसर लिख के जरूर बताएं। For the second question, consider the following statement with regards to electoral bond. All nationalized in India are authorized to issue in cash. These bonds are valid for the 15 days from the date of insurance, and the bonds are remittable in designated account of the registered political parties, right? So today we have asked a question, we have discussion regarding the electoral bond. So I'm asking this question, and very possible question that can be asked in the prelims examination this year. So make sure you know it and you answer the question in the comment section. आप अपने आंसर में वहाँ पे जरूर लिख करके बताएं. And if you are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. And if you like this video, if you find this video helpful, do not forget to give thumbs up. If you have any other concern, do let us know. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Wish you all the best. Thank you so much.